weekend?
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of things we got to continue working on. Positives are we won a game. But there was some runners out there that we still have to be able to push runs across, especially early. We did a good job continuing to get guys in scoring position late, and we're able to take advantage of it there in the 7th and really bust it open. But the game was close. We had opportunities there early to score runs.
What did you guys kind of take away from last weekend that you wanted to see your players bring into this weekend?
Just the fact that we played some high caliber teams. The negatives were obviously we went 1-4 on the road trip, which we didn't. We obviously want to win more than one game. The positives are that I don't think we left there. Whereas in the past we left the tournament like that, going that we're just, it's more rah that we're as good as those guys, But this year I think our guys in our clubhouse felt that they were disappointed in the fact that we were the better team on a couple of those games, and we didn't execute. So that part of it's encouraging that we feel like we have the horses in the stable that we can do this. We just have to execute better.
What kind of approach do you take in the locker room to help them get to that execution point?
Well, first you got to debrief and talk about it and get it out in the open and not sugarcoat it. There's things we got to get better at. Then it's up to us to teach them.
Cole tied a career high in strikeouts, got hit around a little bit, but then got over the 100 pitch mark for the first time. What'd you make of his outing?
Continuing to progress. He left some pitches up in the zone just in bad counts that he had leverage in 0-2, I think, on a couple of those that he gave up. I know the home run to Wattis. He was ahead in the count. We were trying to bury that pitch, and he just left it over the heart of the plate. He did that on several breaking balls there that he was ahead in the count and just left it up over the middle. And I think if he buries those pitches, we probably get swing and miss and strikeouts. So, instead they got hits and had some good contact on him early on. But he battled and got us through 5, and continued to progress on his pitch count a little bit. Excuse me, that was a few more pitches than we wanted to go with him, but the matchup there on the left-hander, the 6th inning, we wanted to try to see if we get that kid out before we brought Linder in.
What led you to move Linder into the bullpen this weekend?
Just the other guys have been throwing really well. Overbay's been throwing outstanding, and so is Kleck. And it's not like Colin hasn't been throwing the ball well, but I just think right now it's those other guys have earned it, and like I said, nothing's set in stone. And we feel right now that he's a good option out of the bullpen, and he threw the ball exceptionally well tonight. So, and again, I told him that his starting days are not over by any means. So this is just one of those things that if we're going to shuffle the deck, it had to be this week probably, at least in the short term. He had a good outing today, and get him ready for Tuesday if we choose to start him there. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet, but he has a chance to do that.
How have you kind of navigated after last year, having Ben Jacobs and Jack Martin as being the top 2 guys no matter what, compared to this year where you have Carlone, but behind him it's been a little more uncertain in terms of who you want to start each weekend?
Bottom line, we have capable arms, and we just look at it more as we have a bunch of guys that are capable of getting outs. Over the course of the weekend at home, we're hoping to be able to get 27 innings out of these guys, and how you shape it ultimately really doesn't matter. You got to get 27 innings no matter which way you slice it. So, we just right now we felt front end of the games are tone setters, and we can continue to lengthen these guys out and see if they're capable of doing it. Carlone has obviously done a really good job there so far, and give Overbay a crack at it tomorrow, and Kleck on Sunday. Kleck's been there and done that plenty of times, so not overly concerned with him. But we're at that point of the season where we want to get the most out of our best arms that we have, and right now the way Overbay's been throwing it, we we could get 3 innings out of him on a weekend if we use him in the role he's been in, but I'd rather have 6 if we could. So, bottom line, he's earned the right to give it a crack on the starting spot.
I know he's been a bullpen guy for a lot of his career. He's capable of going maybe whatever Carlone did tonight, 100 pitches, 6 innings like that. You think he's capable of that?
Probably not tomorrow, but I think that probably the outing after. You know, he was stretched out there pretty good right before the season started. You know, it's all, we're being very careful with our arms as we always are. And, you know, sure, you'd like to throw him out there for 110 pitches tomorrow, but it's probably not the smartest thing to do for his career. And we're gonna need him to, you know, build up slowly. So I don't know, I'll talk to Jeremy, but I'm guessing he's probably at a 70 or 80 pitch count tomorrow. He's a strong kid, he's durable, it's not like he can't do it, but bottom line, his long-term health is very important. That kid's got a bright future. So we'll take that into consideration and see how far we can get with him tomorrow based on pitch count and innings and all that stuff that'll factor into it and how effective he is.
On the offensive,
How did you feel about Stretch and Cole out tonight? I'm sure you're probably maybe hoping for this kind of performance last week, and then he gets injured, but tonight, I think it was his longest outing of the year pitch-wise, you know, going over 100, really getting him into what you should get from his Friday guy.
Yeah, we felt comfortable, 90 to 100 pitches. Again, 100's probably was on the high side. We didn't want to go over that, but again, he felt great. He wanted to stay out there, and of course, but just told him to get ready for next week. So he did his job, did what he was supposed to do.
on the offensive side, only 4 strikeouts in total from the guys tonight. Did you want to be more aggressive early in counts to kind of counteract last weekend, or was there just kind of the guys finding their groove out there?
You know, we didn't strike out a ton, but we didn't really have a lot of great at-bats early on. Contradas had a couple, and you know, it was tough sledding there early. We just were, you know, a lot of soft contact, balls off the end of the bat, you know, trying to do too much on the breaking balls. That kid was throwing us a steady diet of breaking balls, and we didn't adjust very well. We were trying to do too much and capping a lot of stuff. So again, we got to have a better approach and stay in the middle of the field and even the opposite gap on those guys that are spinning us to death. So again, that's one of the things I think everybody knows we can hit fastball, right? So we're gonna have to, we're probably gonna see spin a significant amount, and if we do, we have to be able to have a good approach to it.
And then on the field, I noticed right before Garrett's triple, you mentioned some words to him. Were you able to share kind of the advice you gave him before he went to the plate?
I said, Garrett, you're just a very handsome individual. And go tattoo a baseball. So, I mean, sometimes you just gotta get guys to loosen up a little bit and quit trying to do so much, but just told him get a pitch up in the zone and hit it to the opposite gap, and he pulls it. So he didn't really listen to me, he just did his own thing.
Seeing
At the
how
beginning of the season, you said that you didn't have to rely on the long ball as much with the skill set of this year's team, but with 5 home runs on the year one tonight, Rondo with 4 of his own, it seems like up and down the line, you guys have had that power. How have you seen it be more of a luxury and not a necessity this year?
I mean, I'm not ever gonna complain about home runs. Home runs are a result of good swings and consistent swings. And usually when you try to hit homers where we've done that in the past, then you don't. You make foolish outs, and these guys are capable enough to do that. They have the strength to do it, but I'm interested in pure hitters. You guys that can adjust to different pitches and to stay on breaking balls. And right now that's a work in progress with our guys. So we got to keep leaning on them and keep teaching them, keep talking about approach and what we're looking to try and do and executing it. And home runs are come. I'm not concerned about that. They're going to come. These guys are just physically strong kids. They're going to hit their homers. That's not a question. So, but we have to be able to find other ways to win games. And my biggest thing as of late, especially, is just there's times where you just have to put the ball in play. We don't need a home run. We need a ground out to second base. And right now, there's times when we just aren't doing that. And that part of it needs to be addressed.
How likely are we to see any major lineup shakes the rest of the week? Because, I mean, the 3-4 guys that you put in the game there off the bench all were able to hit. Matt Polk gets a hit, Sam Myers, Kai comes in again and uses that opportunity. How likely are we to see any of them the rest of the weekend?
I'm gonna sleep on it, but I think there will be definitely different guys in the starting lineup tomorrow.
How nice is that as a coach? You guys finished with 16 hits after not so great of a first half of the game. To end with that many hits and have guys that you just mentioned came in and had a pinch hit, just to be able to kind of cement your lineup as a not top heavy lineup.
I mean, as we said that from the beginning, that was a big thing for us, is our depth and being able to, you know, mix guys in and out, keep guys fresh, keep guys sharp. You know, guys are scuffling a little bit, and give them a breather and put somebody else in there and know that we're not gonna skip a beat and keep going. And sometimes those guys that you mix in can give you a spark with a little bit of energy. You know, Kai scored from second from a ground ball to short. Granted, he was running on the pitch, but just having that other element sometimes is nice, a speed element. Obviously, we pinch hit him there with the bases loaded and didn't have a great at bat there, which the whole reason I pinch hit him was I figured he would have a good at bat and at least put the ball in play, and chances of him hitting into a double play are not very good with his speed. So I just figured that was an opportunity for him to show up and get something done. He didn't in that one, but the next at bat he had a nice base hit and stole second, and you know, used his speed to create some havoc, which was good. So you know, a lot of different options that we can use. I was happy for Sam Myers to. I mean, that kid was raking this spring. You know, that's why he won the starting job out of the spring, but hasn't done what he was hoping to do at the early part of the year. But it's a long season. That kid can play, and happy that he got on the board with the base hit there. And I think he'll contribute as we continue to move forward.
With a lot of that base running, I know last weekend you guys had, you were facing some really good catchers. It felt like, you were maybe a little more hesitant, whether that was intentional or not. Tonight, 3 stolen bases, you forced a couple errors. How did you feel about the aggressiveness of this team? It looked a little bit more like what we've seen the last couple of years tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there was, and this kid, their catcher's got a pretty good arm too. There were some things that we had picked up on, tendencies that we wanted to try to take advantage of, and we missed a hit and run. I got TJ missed it, and Landon got thrown out. So, but there was some other stuff that we just wanted to put the game in motion and get aggressive again. And we had a few more base runners as well, so we were able to do that. It's a little more difficult to do that when you're chasing 2 or 3 runs, as we were this weekend, and those outs become a little bit more precious. And not that we were reckless today, but when you have a little bit of a lead, you can start pushing the envelope a little bit more. So it's why it's imperative for us to get off to a good start and try to get a lead so we can keep the throttle down and keep doing those things.
How much of those little things are things that you pick up on, having been in this game forever, and how much of that is the guys maybe starting to pick that up, either from you or just, their own sense?
Well, I mean, from the base running standpoint, obviously we're coaching staff and myself included are we're behind a computer screen a lot of hours, searching for stuff and looking at scouting reports. I mean, that's our job, right? That's what we're supposed to do and teach these guys. But I think they're starting to understand the keys, what they're looking for on guys. They brought in a new pitcher and Kai was on first. I said, okay, let's go over here and watch him. You tell me what you see, based on what 3 or 4 different keys that we look at. You tell me what you see, and so I look at one thing, you look at the other, and it's like, I like this one. I said, okay, that's the one you like, then go. Like, you're fast enough. You get your key right, and when I give you the green light, go ahead. And so they're starting to hopefully learn and pick up on the little details of stuff. Last year when I would give details, I think, on the TV screen behind me, like, a lot of guys would, oh yeah, I see it, and just to appease me, to get me to stop talking. But I think these guys are a little bit more student oriented and really want to get it and understand the importance of those keys.
With
See-
so many new transfers, what does that just say about their maturity and everything, all the intangibles that you don't see on the field?
Well, I think they want to win, right? That's why they came here. A lot of these guys came from other programs where, you know, winning wasn't the primary culture piece, I guess. Everybody wants to win, but, you know, we're a little more expected to, I think. So guys wanted to be a part of that. So we got a lot of the right type of kids that came in and wanted to be a part of this program.
Seeing Cole go toe to toe with a top 5 team in the country, a team that really hasn't, I guess, struggled against a pitcher like that all season, and then even on a night where he's not necessarily perfect, he still strikes out 10. I mean, how does he compare to some of the arms you've ever coached? And I mean, what's kind of the ceiling for him as he continues to get better at being a starter?
Oh, I think he's progressing, you know, each time out there. He's maturing and getting better and better. So he's a special kid. He wants to keep learning. I mean, I just walking past him, he's like, "Oh, Coach, I'll be sharper next Friday." I said, "Okay, I'm good." I mean, he's learning. He's not satisfied with where he's at. He wants to keep getting better. Wants to keep developing his repertoire. He threw some really good change-ups for strikes. So tonight, I mean, so when you start mixing in, you know, 96, 97, 98 miles an hour with a change-up, a curveball, and then a wipeout slider, it's like you got something special. So you know, we got the scouts up there drooling, and we're going to be a pretty damn good team, you know, with that kid running out there on Friday night. So, but bottom line, he doesn't get caught up in any of that. He just wants to get better. Again, perfect example is, "Coach, I'll be sharper next week. I can't leave that pitch out right there." Like, you're right, you can't. Good, I'm glad you recognize it, so I didn't have to tell you, or Jeremy didn't have to tell you. So, anyway, just a phenomenal kid.
How does that lack of complacency help him in a week where he's gonna go from this team to the next start he makes will not only be against a conference opponent, but one of the conference opponents you're gonna be battling hopefully for the top spot in the standings with?
You know, that's something that we talked about this fall. It just, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. So there's no staying the same in this game. You're either striving to get better or you get complacent. When you get complacent, you go backwards. And, you know, we had that talk. He had obviously a great year last year, great summer. It's like, is that all you got? You know, you think that's all you got? You don't have to come in this fall and work and get better. That's not how we do it here, man. You gotta keep pushing and grinding. Not that Cole was getting complacent, but it's just one of those things where you gotta be toughest on your best players, in my mind, in order to keep them going and make sure they don't get complacent and think that they've arrived, because they're gonna be the ones that carry you. You know, when the fire hits, you know, and the storms hit, your best players gotta step up, and if you're toughest on them, then they're the ones that are battle tested the most.
Thanks, Will.